This video is brought to you by the official Flashy Instagram. Follow Flashy Magazine for updates on pop culture, reviews on music, and so much more. Every year, a new collective of underground artists break into the mainstream atmosphere. The most recent example of this is Billie Eilish. She's someone who had a steady growing fan base and then exploded in popularity last year for her genre-defying music. In this generation, because of social media, we get to see more rising pop stars evolve from their small fan bases to selling out arenas. It's an exciting time and creates a stronger connection between fan and artist. Seeing as though there's a list for up-and-coming hip-hop artists, I realized they didn't have one for pop, so I decided to make one. Just to be completely transparent about this list, I picked artists who I genuinely believe are reaching for and have a good chance at attaining mainstream success. Hopefully, if you get anything out of this video, you'll have a couple new artists to listen to. Let's get into it. First up on the list, we have rising teen pop star Conan Gray. Conan started his career right here on YouTube. On his channel, he would post vlogs, life tips, and share his art. He became best known for his soft boy aesthetic and editing style. Sometime while creating his debut album, he traded in the soft boy aesthetic for what his fans are now calling Bonin, an alter ego that killed off the original Conan. Either way, his aesthetic has gotten darker, and I think that's a reflection of what we'll see in his music. His debut album Kid Crow is set to be released on March 20th. Conan has the whole package, and he definitely deserves his name on this list. If Billie Eilish had been reborn into a male, I'm positive that person would be Isaac Dunbar. Isaac is a 16-year-old self-taught producer and songwriter. He gained prominence after putting up his original music on SoundCloud. Since then, he's been signed to RCA Records, and his EP has been on my replay ever since. His music and visuals are always done extremely well, and with the way his record label is supporting him, I wouldn't be surprised if he got a viral song sometime this year. Next up, we have the artist Madison Beer. Madison is someone whose career was supposed to take off long before. She was discovered by Justin Bieber and signed to his manager Scooter Braun. She had the look and the voice, but her career was severely halted after being dropped from her contract. Nonetheless, she got herself up and kept herself busy by releasing music as an independent artist. Her debut album titled Life Support is going to be released early this year. It'll be interesting to see if the project transforms her into a respected artist, rather than simply Justin Bieber's failed protege. Carly Hansen is a 16-year-old singer signed to Warner Records. There's something really nostalgic and 2000s about Carly's music. Her EP titled Junk reminds me of a young Avril Lavigne, very pop rock. Carly is still at the very beginning of her career, but I think if she's handled properly, she can make a real name for herself in the industry. Next up on the list, we have Dominic Fike. Dominic was discovered after releasing his EP titled Don't Forget About Me Demos. The result of the release was a war between record labels, and he ended up reportedly signing with Columbia for $4 million. Dominic's song titled 3 Nights started to gain steam late last year, and he's got a reported album set for this year. With the amount of co-signs he has from his peers, I think 2020 is going to be a huge year for Dominic. At number 6, we have Jessie Reyez. Jessie tasted her first bit of success when her song Figures became an internet hit. Since then, Jessie has been hard at work, featuring heavily with artists like Eminem and Calvin Harris. She's continually outspoken about the misogyny and abuse of power in the music industry, and that says a lot considering she's still a new artist. Her debut album titled Before Love Came to Kill Us is set to be released on March 7th, so I'm keeping my eyes on her to see if she breaks it mainstream. The next artist we have on the list is Sky Ferreira. Sky is not a new artist at all. She was discovered at the age 13 on MySpace after connecting with some producers. She signed to Capitol Records and they tried to turn her into a pop puppet. Because she wouldn't conform to the sound they wanted her to, they punished her by cutting off her budget. She basically had to finance her debut album on her own. Regardless of that, Her music is praised by critics, and in my opinion was ahead of its time. She's a mix of rock, 80s synth pop, and alternative. If you're a fan of Lorde or Carly Rae Jepsen, then Sky is definitely going to be your next obsession. Sky is set to be coming out with music this year, and although I'm excited, I'm hoping her record label doesn't try to hold her back. At number 8 on the list, we have Kim Petras. Kim has been steadily growing her fan base for the past 3 years. Just last year, she released 2 amazing pop projects. The best way to describe her sound is Post Malone meets Ariana Grande in the 80s. It's very nostalgic yet contemporary at the same time. I think this year she's gonna have that one hit single that takes her career to the next level. Lauren Jareggi was once part of the extremely successful girl group Fifth Harmony. She became a fan favorite for her looks, mind, and sultry voice. It surprised me to see that her last single was released over a year ago. The hold-up for her album is getting to be longer than I think anyone really expected. Nonetheless, she promised an album is coming this year. So I'm interested to see how she mixes her influences of alternative, pop, and R&B. Last but most definitely not least, we have the destined superstar Normani. For the majority of her career, she's been synonymously known for her work with Fifth Harmony. Often overshadowed and overlooked in the group, Normani is ready to shine this year. She's already been co-signed by so many powerful divas, from Beyonce to Rihanna to Nicki Minaj. Normani has made herself a force in the industry, with successful collaborations like Love Lies, Dancing with a Stranger, and Waves. Each collaboration shows a different side to Normani, and in a different genre. I guess the idea of her taking over 2020 is not into question. The question is, when? The album date has not even been mentioned by Normani. And although it's been confirmed for this year, there haven't been any further announcements. The music industry is patiently waiting for Normani, and I'm sure her record label has poured a lot of money and effort into her. It just needs to be executed properly, and I think we're looking at our next generation pop diva. I hope you guys enjoyed my freshman list of pop stars. Comment down below which artists you think will take over 2020, and don't forget to subscribe. This has been a Flashy production. Thank you.